Do you know that people reveal their true intentions not through their words, but through subtle actions and behaviors? Most people are good at hiding their real motives, whether it's fake kindness, manipulation, or hidden agendas. But if you know what to look for, you can instantly see who's genuine and who's just pretending. The truth is, you don't have to wait months or years to figure someone out. There's a simple yet powerful way to reveal their true intentions right away, and once you learn it, you'll never be fooled again. In this video, I'll break down a proven psychological method that exposes whether someone is truly on your side or just using you. Stay with me till the very end because the final tip will blow your mind. It's something most people never even think to do, yet it works every single time. Let's get started. Number 1. Observe their reactions to your success. One of the most telling ways to reveal someone's true intentions is by observing how they react to your success. Now, I know what you might be thinking, people are generally supportive when you do well, right? Well, not always. Some reactions are easy to fake, but others? They can't help but slip through. And that's where things get interesting. First off, it's important to remember that success doesn't have to be something big or extravagant. It can be as simple as achieving a small milestone or making progress in something you've been working on. The key is to watch how people respond, especially in subtle, unexpected ways. Do they genuinely celebrate with you, or do they seem to shift the attention back to themselves? You'd think a friend or someone you trust would be genuinely excited to see you win, but not everyone feels that way. Some folks might immediately downplay your achievements, trying to diminish your success so it doesn't shine as brightly. And it's not always conscious, it could just be a reflex, a feeling of insecurity creeping in. But that's the thing, it's in those little moments that true intentions start to reveal themselves. Some people will cheer you on, but you can tell there's something off about their energy. Maybe their congratulations feel like they're more about them than you. Oh wow, you got that promotion? That's amazing. I wish I could get something like that, but I just don't have the right connections. Notice how the focus quickly shifts to them. Or maybe they give you a quick pat on the back, but their words lack that real warmth, as if it was something they were supposed to say, not something they truly felt. Then, there's the person who can't hide their envy. They might act all supportive on the surface, but you'll start to see cracks in the facade. The way they compare your success to their own life choices or what they've done, or worse, the way they try to one-up you with stories of their own bigger accomplishments, speaks volumes. It's not about sharing in your joy, it's about making sure they're still the center of attention, even if that means overshadowing your moment. It's not just about what people say either. Pay attention to how they behave around you. Success can often be the ultimate mirror, and when someone is facing it, they might reveal their truest colors. Do they start pulling away when things go well for you? Maybe they distance themselves or avoid celebrating with you, almost as if your success threatens them. That's when you realize, your victories are reminding them of something they're lacking. And while this can feel disheartening, it's actually incredibly revealing. People who are truly happy for you won't let your success make them feel small or insecure. On the flip side, there are those who not only share in your joy, but they amplify it. They don't just congratulate you, they revel in your success as if it's their own. These people genuinely want to see you grow. They don't just tolerate your wins, they celebrate them. It's as if they understand that your success doesn't take anything away from them. In fact, your success makes the entire circle of people you're around better, more vibrant. That's the mark of someone who sees you not as competition, but as a partner in growth. At the end of the day, the way someone reacts to your success isn't just about how they feel about you, it's also about how they feel about themselves. People who are secure in who they are have no problem cheering for your victories, no matter how big or small. Those who aren't, though, they'll reveal their true colors, whether they mean to or not. So next time something good happens to you, watch closely. It's like a test. People will either rise to the occasion or reveal their real intentions, and that's when you'll know exactly who you're dealing with. Number 2, test their loyalty with a small secret. If you really want to get to the heart of someone's intentions, here's a trick that works wonders: test their loyalty with a small secret. Now, hear me out. It's not about playing games or being sneaky. It's about testing their character in a way that gives you a real glimpse into how they operate when the stakes aren't too high. This can be a subtle but powerful way to see how someone handles trust, and trust is everything when it comes to loyalty. Here's the deal: people show who they truly are when they're given a chance to either honor or betray a small secret. It's fascinating how many folks will go to great lengths to keep a secret safe when they know it's something important to you. But, equally, it's eye-opening when someone quickly lets that secret slip, or worse, uses it as ammunition against you later. What's important to remember here is that we're not talking about sharing your deepest, darkest secrets right off the bat. No, that would be reckless. You want to test loyalty on something minor, something that isn't a huge deal in the grand scheme of things but still requires discretion. Maybe it's something as simple as telling them something personal about your day, your preferences, or even something that just isn't public knowledge. The key is to see how they handle it once they know. Now, this isn't just about waiting to see if they spill the beans. It's also about seeing how they behave with that secret. Do they keep it to themselves like a trusted confidant? Or do they start letting others in, spreading the word like it's not important? The best part about this test is that it can reveal how seriously they take your trust. People who are genuinely loyal will treat the secret like it's their own. They won't let it slip, no matter the temptation or situation. On the flip side, someone who's not as loyal might let it slip casually, like it's no big deal. Here's where things get really interesting. The loyalty test also has a way of revealing who you can really count on when things get tricky. Loyalty isn't just about not talking behind your back. It's about showing up when it counts, even in small, everyday moments. How someone handles a minor secret can actually reveal how they'd act in bigger situations. If they can't be trusted with something small, it's a good sign they might not be someone you want around when things get real. Now, you might be wondering, how do I even go about this? It's simple. Start small. You don't need to go out of your way to create a secret out of nowhere. But when the opportunity presents itself, share something light but personal, just to see what they do with it. It's all about giving them a chance to either prove their loyalty or show their true colors. And when they do react, pay close attention. Do they respect your boundaries? Or are they quick to share, even in passing? The reaction often speaks louder than words. And let's not forget, this test doesn't always have to be about betrayal. Sometimes, it's about noticing the absence of betrayal. That's where you learn the most. If they sit with your secret, keep it safe, and respect it, that's a sign of someone who values your trust and loyalty. In the world of relationships, whether friendships, romantic relationships, or even business, these little tests reveal the people who have your back and those who might not be so reliable after all. It might seem simple, but these small moments really can reveal someone's true character. After all, loyalty is built on trust, and trust is built on the small things. You don't need big gestures to figure out where someone stands. Just a little secret can say everything. Number 3, say no and watch their response. When you tell someone no, it's like flipping a switch that illuminates their true nature. It's easy to say that people are one thing, but in reality, our intentions often come to light in moments of tension, frustration, or even surprise. Saying no to someone, especially when it's unexpected, is a powerful way to gauge how they really feel. And here's the thing, it's not just about the word itself, but about everything that follows. First off, notice how they react. Some people might smile, brush it off, and move on like nothing happened. Others, though, Well, they might try to argue, push back, or even guilt trip you into changing your mind. It's these reactions that expose what's really going on beneath the surface. You see, when things don't go according to their plans, some individuals reveal their true colors. Do they respect your boundaries, or do they think they can sway you with charm, pressure, or manipulation? Let's dig into this a bit. People who are truly understanding and empathetic will usually take no in stride. Sure, they might feel a little disappointment, but they won't take it personally. These people know that your no isn't a reflection of your relationship, it's just a natural part of life. Maybe they'll suggest something else, or maybe they'll just let it go, understanding that your response is final. This is where you see maturity and emotional intelligence. Their response doesn't escalate, it doesn't turn into a battle. Instead, it's more like, okay, I get it. Let's move forward. It's simple, but telling. The ease with which they respect your decision. That's a massive sign of how they view you, your boundaries, and your overall dynamic. On the flip side, there are those whose reactions might be less than graceful. They might push harder, try to convince you that you're making a mistake, or even resort to guilt. You might hear phrases like, "Come on, don't be like that," or "I thought you were better than that." These are signals that something deeper is at play. It shows that they might not truly have your best interests at heart. They're more focused on their own desires and how they feel when they don't get their way. They might try to pressure you because your no feels like a threat to their agenda. And here's the kicker, the more they push, the more you can tell that they view you as an obstacle, rather than a partner in any given situation. The key is in the pushback. How far are they willing to go to get you to change your mind? Someone with healthy boundaries will recognize when to back off and respect your choice. Someone who doesn't truly value your limits, however, will keep trying until they get what they want, sometimes even at the expense of your feelings. This is a massive red flag. If someone's willingness to respect your no feels like a test, you're seeing a glimpse of how they handle challenges and, more importantly, how they might treat you in the long run. Now, it's not just about them trying to wear you down. Pay attention to how they view your response afterward. If they truly respect your no, they won't make it awkward. The conversation will continue smoothly, and you'll both move on, perhaps even with more mutual respect than before. But if they sulk, withdraw, or make passive-aggressive comments, that's a clear sign that they're more concerned with their own emotions than with what's actually right for both of you. They may act like they're upset, but deep down, it's about controlling the situation to make sure they get their way. At the end of the day, saying no isn't just about the word. It's about the layers of response that follow. It's about watching their body language, listening to the tone of their voice, and sensing the shift in energy between you two. And in those moments, you'll often find that the mask slips. It's in the moments of discomfort, the brief pause before they speak, or the way they suddenly act as though your no was an affront to them personally. This is where you'll uncover whether they truly respect you and your boundaries, or whether they're more interested in bending the world to fit their desires. And that, my friend, is when you'll see their true intentions laid bare before you. Number 4, see how they treat those who can't benefit them. One of the most telling signs of someone's true intentions is how they treat people who can't offer them anything in return. It's easy to be kind and generous when there's something to gain, but the real test comes when there's nothing on the table for them. If you want to see who someone truly is, pay attention to how they treat those who can't help them climb the ladder or boost their status. We've all seen it before, the way some people practically shine when they're around those they think they can benefit from. They roll out the charm, they're extra polite, and they show off their best sides. But here's the thing, watch what happens when there's nothing to gain from the interaction. The moment there's no power or influence to be had, how do they behave? That's where the mask slips, and true intentions start to show. Take a look at how they treat waitstaff, janitors, or anyone in a position where they're not directly adding to their success? Do they show basic respect, or is there a noticeable lack of consideration in their words and actions? Maybe they're dismissive, or worse, downright rude. That's when you know this person's kindness isn't coming from a genuine place, it's transactional. They're only interested in others when there's a clear, immediate benefit. The moment they sense that a person can't help them move forward, their attitude shifts. It's like flipping a switch. It's almost as if they forget the person's human, and suddenly, they're just a tool that's not worth their time. But then, there are those who genuinely treat everyone with respect, no matter who they are or what they can do for them. These are the people who don't change when the audience changes. Whether someone can advance their career or not, they show the same level of kindness and consideration. They don't need an exchange to be present in every interaction. Their goodwill comes from a place of integrity, not necessity. And that's the real sign of someone who's solid at their core. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes people can get caught up in the busyness of life or even slip up here and there. We all have our moments where we might not show up as our best selves. But it's the patterns, the consistent behavior, that really tells you what's up. If someone consistently treats those around them based on what they can gain from them, that's a red flag. True character doesn't fluctuate depending on the benefits someone can provide. It's also worth noting that this doesn't always show up in grand gestures or major actions. It's in the small, everyday interactions, the casual dismissals, the lack of empathy when things go wrong for someone who's not in their circle. It's the way they ignore people they consider below them or act like someone's value is based on how much they can contribute to their personal goals. Here's the interesting thing, though, when someone is only interested in people who benefit them, they tend to overlook the importance of these smaller interactions. What they fail to realize is that it's in those moments where real character shines through. How you treat someone when there's no benefit to be had says a lot more about you than how you behave when there's something to gain. People who have nothing to offer you can sometimes teach you more about life, humility, and kindness than those who are climbing the same ladder. So, if you want to know who someone truly is, keep an eye on how they treat the person who can't help them out, the person who's not part of the in crowd, or anyone who doesn't add value to their personal mission. Watch for those moments. They'll give you all the insight you need into whether this person is worth your trust or just another opportunist hiding behind a mask of charm. Number 5. Ask for a small favor and note their willingness. When you're trying to figure out someone's true intentions, one of the simplest and most revealing tests is to ask for a small favor. It sounds almost too easy, right? But honestly, how someone responds to such a request can tell you so much about where they stand with you. It's all about paying attention to the nuances, how they react, how willing they are, and how they follow through. You'd be surprised how much you can learn about someone's character in just a brief interaction like this. Now, think about this for a second. Asking for a small favor isn't just about what you need, it's about how they see you and how they value the relationship between you. The way they respond reveals something crucial. Are they quick to help, or do they hesitate? Are they genuinely interested in assisting you, or are they just doing it because they feel obligated? How they react can provide a lot of insight into their true feelings toward you. Here's the thing, people have a tendency to show their true colors when they're asked for something, no matter how small or insignificant it seems. Some people will drop what they're doing without a second thought to help you out, while others will make it seem like it's a massive inconvenience, even if it's something really simple. And that's what you want to observe. The willingness to help, even in small matters, is a strong indicator of how much they care about you and your needs. If they jump to action, that's a sign of genuine interest in the relationship. But there's also another side to this. Some people will act like helping you is a huge chore, or worse, they'll make you feel like you're asking too much, even for a tiny favor. This reaction often comes from people who might be more self-centered or who don't truly value the relationship. It's not necessarily that they want to harm you, but their lack of enthusiasm in offering help says a lot about their priorities. You begin to wonder, if they can't be bothered to assist you with something small, would they really be there for you when something bigger comes up? This isn't always obvious in the moment either. Sometimes, it's the subtle things that speak the loudest. Maybe they agree to help but do so begrudgingly, or maybe they drag their feet and act like they're doing you a favor by even considering it. The point is, their reaction reveals their level of commitment, their genuine desire to help, and their overall attitude toward you. Another interesting thing to note is how they follow through. It's easy to say yes to a favor, but how they execute it is just as important. Do they follow through promptly? Do they do it with the care and effort you'd expect, or do they cut corners, showing minimal effort? A person's actions can often speak louder than their words. If they say they'll do something and then take forever or do it half-heartedly, that's a huge red flag about their priorities and intentions. Now, you might be thinking, but what if they have a valid reason for hesitating? Of course, that's a fair point. Life happens, and sometimes people just can't drop everything. But even in those cases, the way they communicate their inability to help matters. Are they apologetic and understanding? Do they explain why they can't do it right now, or do they just brush you off? The way someone communicates, especially when they can't help, is just as telling as how they react when they can. This small favor test doesn't just apply to big, important relationships either. Whether it's a close friend, a colleague, or someone you've just met, the way they respond to a simple request can tell you a lot about their overall attitude toward relationships, loyalty, and respect. Are they willing to put in the effort, even in small things? Do they have your back, even when it's not convenient for them? How they treat your needs, no matter how minor, can be a major clue to their true intentions. So, next time you need a little help, don't be afraid to ask. Pay attention not just to whether they say yes, but to how they respond, how they follow through, and how they make you feel in the process. Sometimes, it's the small favors that reveal the biggest truths about people. Number 6, put them in a stressful situation. If you really want to see someone's true intentions, put them in a stressful situation. It might sound counterintuitive. Who wants to create stress, right? But the thing is, stress is a way of stripping away the layers we carefully put on for the world. When life's easy, it's easy to be on your best behavior, but throw in a little chaos, and that's when the real person shows up. Stress doesn't have to be a huge crisis to reveal a lot about someone. It can be something simple, an unexpected change in plans, a sudden problem that needs solving, or even a little pressure to make a decision. It's the little things that make the difference, because how someone handles pressure speaks volumes about their character and true motivations. The way they respond when they're pushed to their limits will show you their most authentic self, often in ways they didn't even realize. Let's start with how someone handles conflict under stress. When things get tense, does this person stay calm and collected, or do they lose their cool? Do they engage in problem-solving mode, or do they crumble under the weight of the situation? People who are genuinely balanced will stay grounded in stressful situations, even if they're internally freaking out. They'll look for solutions instead of pointing fingers or getting defensive. But if someone starts lashing out, blaming others, or throwing tantrums over small obstacles, that's a big red flag. It shows that stress brings out a side of them that's far from the person you thought you knew. In that moment, it's not about the situation anymore, it's about their inability to manage pressure. Another thing to watch for is how someone treats other people when things go south. If the pressure starts mounting and they take a me-first approach, you might want to pay attention. Someone who only looks out for themselves when the heat is on might have self-centered intentions. But someone who offers help, stays kind, or even checks in on others during stressful moments, that's someone who operates with empathy and care. Stress tests a person's compassion and their ability to collaborate or, Conversely, how quick they are to throw others under the bus for their own gain. Then there's the question of how quickly they start looking for someone to blame when things go wrong. We've all seen it, the person who can't accept responsibility for anything and who immediately points fingers. Stressful situations have a funny way of revealing just how much accountability a person is willing to take. If they're always ready to blame others or make excuses, you're looking at someone who's probably more concerned with preserving their own image than actually solving the problem. But if they own up to their mistakes, admit fault, and try to make things right, you've just seen someone who values integrity more than saving face. And what about their decision-making process under stress? When under pressure, some people freeze and struggle to make even the simplest decisions. Others rush into choices impulsively, without considering the consequences. Both are signs of how someone operates when the stakes are high. You can tell a lot about a person's level of maturity and their ability to handle real-life challenges based on how they make decisions when everything feels uncertain. If they panic, delay, or just go with the first thing that comes to mind, it shows they might not be as grounded or forward-thinking as you thought. But someone who stays composed, evaluates options, and makes decisions with clarity, that's someone who doesn't just talk the talk, they walk it, too. Of course, it's not just about how they act but also what they prioritize when things go wrong. In moments of stress, does the person focus on fixing the problem, or do they prioritize their own comfort and avoidance of discomfort? The way someone reacts under pressure reveals their values. If they're only interested in taking the easy route or avoiding inconvenience, it shows they might not be the most reliable in tough times. But if they roll up their sleeves and dive into the mess to help resolve things, they're showing you that their intentions are about the bigger picture, not just their immediate gratification. Here's the thing, stress doesn't have to be this dramatic, life-changing event. It could be something as simple as a miscommunication, a minor setback, or a last-minute change of plans. But in those moments, you get a clear, unfiltered glimpse of how someone handles adversity and where their true intentions lie. Are they there to rise to the occasion, or are they only in it for themselves? The way they act under pressure tells you everything you need to know about their real character. And that's why stress, in its own messy way, is one of the most effective tools to reveal someone's true intentions, instantly. Number 7. Confront them with a subtle truth and watch their reaction. If you really want to uncover someone's true intentions, try confronting them with a subtle truth and just watch how they react. It might sound simple, but this can be one of the most revealing things you can do when you're trying to figure out whether someone's being real with you, or if there's something more going on behind the scenes. Now, what do I mean by a subtle truth? It's not about laying down some heavy, dramatic accusation, or saying something that's going to throw them into a defensive frenzy. No, it's much more subtle than that. Think of it as dropping a little nugget of honesty, something that's just real enough to make them feel a little uncomfortable, but not so sharp that it cuts right through their facade. Something that's based on reality, but not overly blunt. It could be something you notice about their behavior or a pattern they may not even be aware of themselves. The goal here is to create a reaction, and sometimes, the reaction is the truth. The beauty of this method lies in the unpredictability of how people will respond. The truth you present may be small, but it can cause a huge shift in their demeanor. Watch how their body language shifts. Do they tense up? Do they smile nervously? Do they try to deflect or steer the conversation away from what you've just said? Sometimes, they might go into overdrive, attempting to justify or explain things that weren't even questioned. That's a sign they're feeling threatened, and that's when you know they're hiding something. But here's the kicker, how they react to that subtle truth isn't just about the words they say, it's about the energy they give off. A person who's comfortable with who they are, who has nothing to hide, will either own up to whatever it is or won't feel the need to react so strongly. They'll acknowledge it calmly and move on. They might even agree with you. A genuine, authentic person doesn't need to put up walls when a little truth comes their way. It's only when there's something to protect or manipulate that they start to get defensive, evasive, or even confrontational. Let's dig deeper into what these reactions might look like. Some people, when faced with a subtle truth, will become almost overly apologetic. It's as though they feel the need to backpedal or appease you, like they've been caught doing something wrong, even if they haven't. This kind of behavior often stems from insecurity, or worse, a desire to manipulate your perception of them. They might say things like, "Oh, you misunderstood me," or "I didn't mean it that way." But notice how they're trying to shift the focus onto you, instead of simply acknowledging the truth you've pointed out. Then there's the classic deflection. Instead of addressing what you've said, they might turn the conversation in a completely different direction, often bringing up unrelated topics or even trying to twist things so they look like the victim. It's like they're dodging a bullet, but instead of confronting the truth head-on, they turn the tables, making the conversation all about something else. They want to avoid facing the reality of their actions, so they create a diversion. But there's also a third, more dangerous reaction: the silent treatment or the complete shutdown. Some people, when faced with something that makes them uncomfortable, won't even engage. They'll close off, either physically or emotionally, and leave you hanging. This could be an attempt to make you feel uneasy or guilty about bringing it up. They're hoping you'll back off, so they don't have to deal with the truth at all. But here's the thing: whether they react with guilt, anger, defensiveness, or silence, all these responses are rooted in the same thing: fear. Fear of being exposed. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of losing control. And when you see someone acting from a place of fear, you can bet that there's something they don't want you to know, something they're trying to keep hidden. The key to this tactic is to remain calm and collected yourself. Don't escalate the situation. Keep your tone neutral and your energy grounded. The more relaxed you stay, the more intense their reaction will appear. They won't be able to hide the truth for long. So, the next time you're trying to figure someone out, drop that subtle truth into the conversation. See how they handle it. The way they react can tell you everything you need to know about who they really are and what their intentions truly are. Because at the end of the day, a person who is confident in their own integrity won't need to cover anything up. They'll accept the truth and move forward, no drama, no games. And there you have it, a simple yet powerful way to instantly reveal someone's true intentions. If you found this tip helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share with those who need to hear it, and subscribe for more life-changing insights. Have you ever used this technique before? Drop your experiences in the comments, let's discuss. Always stay aware, stay sharp, and remember, your instincts are your best guide. Until next time, keep growing and protecting your peace.